Hey everyone, this is First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad. Penner's quick weather update for the weather going into the weekend, kind of the short term, and then we're going to look long term going into next week as people are already starting to talk about Thanksgiving forecasts, and I thought I'd give you a little kind of what I think is going to happen because it's a very cold pattern for Thanksgiving this year. Let's get right to the maps. First of all, focus on today. We've got some clouds across the Carolinas. Notice a pretty good cloud deck banked up against the mountains. This cloud cover shouldn't last that long. In fact, I expect it to break up pretty quickly this afternoon, but it is keeping temperatures generally in check. You see temperatures generally in the 40s across most of the Carolinas, and as you look to the northwest, there's some clearing going on ahead of a stronger front that's going to be heading our way. It's a fast-moving front coming out of the northern plains that'll be arriving Wednesday night into Thursday. Let me show you that front on the GFS model. There it is. You can see it beginning to take shape coming down out of the plains and the upper Midwest. You can see a pretty potent looking low moving across the Great Lakes, and if you're in the Great Lakes region, boy, get ready. It's going to be an active 6 or 7 days here. Here comes the cold front heading our way Wednesday. Kind of falls apart as it moves through the Carolinas, and if anything, it's going to allow for temperatures to warm up just a hair ahead of it. I'll go into the afternoon hours on Thursday, and you can see nice little warm up occurring across the Carolinas ahead of this front. The cold air is still bottled up to the northwest. I'll kind of push this through as we go into Friday, and you'll notice the cold air starts surging back in as we go into Friday morning. That's when the high pressure builds back in, and this is a short-lived little burst of cool air because it starts warming back up Saturday ahead of the cold front that's heading our way Saturday afternoon. So you see maybe a little bit of a wedge set up there. There's the next front, and this is going to be a powerhouse front heading our way Saturday. This is Saturday morning about 7 a.m. Big old low over the Great Lakes. And then look at this front. This is a powerhouse front coming in on Saturday evening. It's going to arrive after 5 o'clock. Look at the cold air. There's actually a touch of snow showing up in the mountains of West Virginia and North Carolina. On the back side of this, we're going to get into what we call a good northwest flow event. Arctic air spilling over the warm waters of the Great Lakes will pick up moisture and deposit it in the mountains here in the southeast. So watch this flow set up. That's pretty nice looking northwest flow event Sunday morning into Sunday afternoon. So we're going to have probably a 24-hour period of decent snow. And further north, there could be some big-time lake effect snow off the Great Lakes that continues for a while as we go into a Sunday night. So this is Sunday night about 7 p.m. Let me see if I can switch to snow totals here real quickly. We'll see if it'll pop up here. Just to show you some of the snow that could develop downwind of the Great Lakes, because this is going to be a pretty good little event developing off the Great Lakes. As that loads, we'll try to get that to load quickly, but you could see these bands. You can actually pick them up on the modeling, which for this resolution of model, that's pretty impressive to see these bands actually showing up in the model data. So if I can get this to pop up, apparently doesn't want to display. But I was going to show you some of the snowfall totals we could see across the areas to our north, and especially across the North Carolina. I'll be interested to see how much snow we can actually sneak out of this in this northwest flow. But then we start looking ahead to next week and next week's potential storm, which is going to be kind of hit or miss. It's a weird setup because the GFS is much more bullish on a storm, but it's also much warmer with the system. So we're going to go into Monday. We'll go into Tuesday. Let me go out as far as I can. Tuesday morning. So this is the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Big old high pressure over us. No worries on Tuesday if you're traveling Tuesday. We'll go into Wednesday here. We can get the pop up. We start to see a little wave form back here, which will be something I'm going to keep an eye on. So we'll go Wednesday morning. Big travel day across the east. Got this little low coming. It looks almost like an Alberta Clipper type system. Doesn't look real impressive. We go to Wednesday afternoon. And you can see how the GFS has this low. Now the European has nothing there, it just has cold air, which will be interesting to see which one wins out. Now remember, we're still, 7-8 days out, and we go into Thanksgiving morning. We've got this low moving down across the Ohio Valley, and some rain rolling into our region with snow over the Great Lakes, and temperatures pretty warm just ahead of this front, but really cold on the backside moving in. So let me show you something different. This is a look at the GFS ensembles, which are basically taking all the different models and looking at them together. So you see these are the temperature anomalies Pretty chilly for Wednesday. We've got a warm up on Thursday. You can see it's a brief warm up across the southeast. And then the cold air moves back in for Friday. And then another big warm up on Saturday ahead of the front. There it is moving in. And then look what happens Saturday night into Sunday. Really, some of the coldest air we've seen so far on Sunday into Monday invading the southeast. That is really cold air. Those temperatures there are approaching 20 below average, not below zero, below the average high. We'll go into Tuesday next week. It's still cold. Wednesday, it's still cold. This is the big travel day. And then we'll look ahead to Thanksgiving morning. Still chilly across the east this Thanksgiving afternoon. So this is Thanksgiving afternoon. Notice that whole time from basically Sunday through Thanksgiving, the ensembles for the GFS have it really cold across the east. And in fact, going into the weekend after Thanksgiving, it remains cold. So this is pretty stunning how cold these ensembles are all the way through the end of the month for the eastern half of the country. I mean, that's pretty amazing. This is basically from, let me back this up till Monday. We'll go. This is Saturday afternoon, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday the 26th, Monday the 27th, Tuesday the 28th, and Wednesday to Thursday the 30th. Cold the entire time across the southeast. So that's going to be a pretty chilly pattern, even by our standards for this time. Now, what about moisture? Let's start looking at storminess here. Let's see. This is basically going to be precipitable water. So what I'm looking at is see if there's any moisture coming in with this storm going into next week. Doesn't look like much there. That doesn't look like a whole lot. Let's look at precipitation. So we'll see if we're going to get some moisture in here. So we'll back this up. You can see a little bit of moisture coming in with our Saturday to Sunday storm. Doesn't look like much. And then we go into Thanksgiving. That looks to be some wet weather and some snow across the Great Lakes. So that's the time frame, honestly. Looking at that time frame right here as we go into Thanksgiving, if we're going to get this storm, this will be the one to watch. Now, mind you, European model has nowhere in sight with this. I look at the European. Notice on Thanksgiving it has a 42 for a high in Charlotte, but the GFS has a 60 and a whole bunch of rain. So that's the confliction here with the two models. I don't know if you guys can see that. The precipitation is the bottom. So that's the European. Bone dry on Thanksgiving, cold. GFS, 60 degrees and a ton of rain. So unsettled to say the least. These blocking patterns can be difficult. You saw me talk about that yesterday. So stay tuned as we look ahead to Thanksgiving week. Looks like it could be a crazy pattern next week. And one thing, it looks cold. The storminess is the big question mark right now.